Lone Star Land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look in my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the blue bonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright.
Gummy shoe prints, laid them down the street. Chocolate wrappers hiding secrets sweet. They don't miss a beat, they've got a knack. With licorice ropes pulling answers back. Twist the wrapper to reveal the truth. A sticky web spun by a candy slough. No sour lies can escape the grip. These lollipops always crack the whip.
Sebastian, sweet boy, where have you gone? The sun sets low, but we keep marching on. The wind whispers your name soft through the pines, a melody aching in these hearts of mine. Roads are endless, the nights are cold, but your story's a light we'll never let go. Where are you, sweet boy Sebastian? We're searching the hills, the rivers, the plains. You deserve better, oh you deserve better. And your army is fighting through heartache and pain. Your laughter once rang like bells through the air. Now silence just lingers, it's more than we can bear. We carry your memory, a flag in our hands. Through shadows and valleys, through shifting sands. The roads are endless, the nights are cold, but your story's a light we'll never let go. Where are you, sweet boy Sebastian? We're searching the hills, the rivers, the plains. You deserve better. Oh, you deserve better. And your army is fighting through heartache and pain. Your laughter once rang through heartache and pain.
Well, hello, my friends. How are y'all doing today? I hope everybody is having a super great Saturday, a really good weekend. Thank you all so much for being here. I apologize if I, please don't hate me if I don't read everybody's names. I am trying once again to stream on 2 different platforms to see how this goes. Maybe we can make this work. Want to be sleuthing. Oh, goodness. I get it. I really, really do. I've had a crisis this morning myself. And it's just been one of those days. But being here with you guys, it really makes a difference. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Today I was going to a town where little Audrey Cunningham used to live. And I was headed that way. There is a family that is on YouTube that have amazing channels. They do all kinds of things. They are a super great family, and I was going to go and meet them. That was my goal. I headed down there. I was so excited. I couldn't wait to meet their alpacas and Carl, the ostrich. I was really excited. And I was just a tiny bit over halfway there, and my car broke down. I sat on the side of the road for a while. You know, sometimes when it rains, it pours. It's crazy. So disappointing to me, because that was the last thing I needed to happen. And I'm just, trying to bring myself back from the edge of depression, because, sometimes you just get there. And so today, while I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what am I going to do? I can't afford to fix my car. And what do I do now? Kind of thing. And I'm just blah, blah, blah. So I go on YouTube. Go on, see what everybody's doing, what's happening, looking for just a tiny ray of sunshine. Guys, I didn't get it. Got nothing. Nothing anywhere close to being a ray of sunshine. It was nothing but hate. Calling each other out, trying to prove a point. I was so disgusted. And I'm like, what am I doing? It was just driving me crazy. Hello to everybody that's coming in. If y'all are new, welcome to the channel. Please don't think it's this blah every time we go live, because I promise you it's not. But we're glad to have anyone that is new here. All we ask is just be respectful, because the hate and the drama it's not the place here. Sadly, that's what I saw on YouTube when I opened it up, and all the posts that were made, and the wrath that you deserve is coming your way. The clips of others that are so foul and disgusting, it got to me. It is fixable. It is, YouTuber. It's fixable. It's just, like everything else in life, gonna cost money. And I only have what I make here on YouTube. And my storage building, they come first. Yeah, Holly, it's sad. It's so, so sad. So I don't know if all of you have seen my post, but I'm going to show it here. We're going to read it because this is where I was at today. This is where I was at. And then I've got something else to share with you. I followed missing cases for years. I started my channel because I had things I wanted to say. At no point did I ever expect all the drama. That seems to be what surrounds these missing kid cases. YouTube has become a source of attacks, hatred, and outright lies against people. I honestly thought adults were grown up and could have opinions on this true crime platform. Silly me. People are truly here for money, but says it's about kids. The kids missing we associate our channels with did not ask for grown up, or I will say it, for grown ass adults to hate each other, talk about each other, troll each other, and dig up the worst times of someone's life. No wonder YouTubers are looked at as scum in a case. Very seldom are posts made on here with anything positive to say. Creators talk about other creators behind the scenes. It becomes, what side are you on? Who do you believe? What happened to being on the side of a kid that's missing? If you do not care for creators, keep it out of these kids' cases. It's that simple. If they talk about you, ignore them. When you have to continue that hate, it and takes it to another blah. When you have to continue that hate, it takes you to their level. You become just like them. And all that does is taint the name of the missing kids. You talk about it. Will it ever stop? I'm beginning to think no. Summer Wells case, Sebastian Rogers case, and so many others. Their names are forever tainted. It's connected to the shit show. Oh, I don't know what I did. Hold tight. Y'all know me and pushing buttons. I don't do well with that. Summer Wells case, Sebastian Rogers case, and so many others. Their names are forever connected to all the shit thrown. None of us should be proud. We're no longer in a community that helps. We become a community that destroys innocent kids' names. I couldn't believe the words that were said that I read today on so many posts and mentioned the kids' case, whether it was Summer's case or Sebastian's case or Jack and Lily's case and all the things. Disgusting things and words. And it's gross because you turn around and mention a kid that is missing in the same post that you're talking crap about other people. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with everyone? And I say everyone, I include myself in that because it is so easy to fall into that category. I had my hand held over the fire today, per se. It's a phrase my granny used to use a lot. And guys, it really tested me as to whether my feelings about someone else, a friendship that got ruined, would it keep me from actually putting a kid's case first? When I say I had to dig deep to find out, am I still who I say I am? I had to dig deep. I have really had to pull everything inside of me to the point to where I finally got to a place where I realized I want to be here for kids. I don't care about the hate. I don't care about the drama. I tell you guys every day, this is about Sebastian. We're not here for the hate and the drama. We're here for this kid. And if I can't live that and be that, then I shouldn't be here. And when we have someone that comes up on our platform here, our channel, that we do our best to avoid all the drama and the hate, and someone's going to come up and say, anyone else want to go missing? Keep it up. Keep talking about me, and things won't end well. That channel had a stepfather's name on it. Whether he created it or not, I don't know. But that's the platform we're in right now. That's what we're in. We're playing with people who can't. They can't help themselves because they've gone too far. Brown Eyes Girl, thank you so much for the super sticker. I love you for that. Thank you, you sweet girl. I love you, girl. Thank you. I appreciate you. But it does affect every child that we talk about. People that want to use threats about someone that can bring up a person's name. Oh, and no worries. I've already sent it all in to the FBI. I don't play. I don't play with any of it. And it's sad that we have to even get on here and talk about this. It's everywhere, guys. It's all over the what we call true crime community, talking about missing kids. It doesn't matter. If you have a difference of opinion, you're hated. People talk about you behind the scenes. They want to hurt your channel. It's crazy. Lisa King, thank you so much for that. You are so sweet and precious. Guys, I'm not saying all this just to get money, but thank you. It means a lot. You are so appreciated. I just couldn't believe that I went into picked up my phone, go in to look, and I'm like, what? 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 Every post I looked at, what? 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 It's gross. Holly, Blue Eyes, thank y'all so much. Thank you. I'm just so sad that I had to even step back and look at my own self. I came here because things were being talked about and said in the Summer Wells case. And I had things I wanted to say. Daniel, thank you. Daniel said, I'm here for you, Mama Bear. Lolly, keep up the awesome work and love to all the mods in the chat. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for being so kind. That was so, so sweet of you. Thank you. But I had things I wanted to say. I never, ever thought I would have to choose a side to be on. And if I didn't, then I get lost in the middle here, ostracized from people because they don't like my thought process. Make it make sense, folks, because that's exactly what's happening. In the Summer Wells case, are you on Fred's side or are you on Andy's side? Who do you believe? Over here, are you on Seth's side or Katie and Chris's side? Because there's no in the middle. Guys, I made my thumbnail with nothing but Sebastian's picture because we have to remember we're here for him. And if we can't be a grown ass person and just say, we're here for this child that is missing. Does that mean I hate Seth? No, I don't hate Seth. Does that mean I hate Katie and Chris? No, I don't hate them. Does that mean I don't side eye any of the parents? No, that's not what that means. Because we are human. Oh, TJ, you just stay normal. Just stay normal. I'm not seeing anything different here. But I got it all in front of me, TJ, if you can hear me. Sorry, guys. There's a kid that is missing. We are talking about him, his life, what he's experienced, what he has got to go through. And what do we get? We get anyone else want to go missing, keep it up. Keep talking about me and things won't end well. That's what we get. We try to stay over here in our own little bubble. I got this little tiny channel over here, and that's what we get. I go on YouTube today to try to occupy my mind for just a little while to get my mind off the fact that my damn car broke down and I don't have money to get it fixed. What am I going to do? It doesn't matter. It'll fix it. self. It's going to work out. Everything's going to be okay. I have to occupy my mind to get off of that. I go to YouTube and I was so disappointed. A place that I used to love to go to. So many creators I used to love to listen to. So many people that have hate in their heart that is so thick and so deep that it is all put out there, dug into, looked into. The hatred is real. And then they add in a missing child's name. When is that ever okay? Because it's not. Veronica, thank you so much. How sweet of you. I appreciate that, Veronica. That is so gracious of you. Thank you. Sebastian Rogers will be having a birthday very soon. Will he be around to celebrate? Because let me tell you, we could give him the biggest birthday party any 17-year-old could ever imagine if we all came together. But sadly, I am afraid Sebastian's not going to be here for his birthday. Doesn't stop us though, right? People are already working. They're already doing things that they can accomplish and get done and take care of and setting things in motion to light Hendersonville green on December the 7th. So things are being done because people care about Sebastian. People can come together because they care about Sebastian. People can come together because they care about Summer Wells. People can come together because they care about whatever child it is that's missing. But you're always going to have the hate, unfortunately. You're always going to have the people who make the big bucks as they are attacking creators, saying ugly things about everybody, and so on and so on. It's never going to go away, guys. I had to come to realize that today. No matter what we do here on our little bitty channel, we're not going to make them change. And so we go on, right? We continue every day. If CP, stepdad, Sebastian Rogers wants to put his count back up and come back into our chat, I don't care. I don't care what he wants to say. And when trolls come in and they want to have their say, let them say what they want to say. And if it's uncalled for, they will be removed completely and blocked. I want you guys to hold me accountable because you come here and listen to me every day. You guys, please keep me accountable and don't let me play games with any child's life at any time, please. I don't want to be that way. I want to be better. I want to make a post that's positive. I want to make videos and lives and all the things. Jen, I want to do all those things, but I want to do them in a good way because I don't want to be like those people. And I'm sorry to come on here and start this live out being so gloom and doom, but guys, my heart, man, it just today has been very pushing on my whole emotional psyche here. Sandy says, okay, Lolly, I'm here. We can start now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they really are, Jen. They are. And it's so sad because it'll never change. And it just breaks my heart because you Google Sebastian and you're going to hear the hate. You're going to hear drama. You're going to hear all that stuff because it is forever attached to these kids' names. Same thing with the Summer Wells case. I don't even want, I don't want to even talk about her because the people are so negative. They don't care about what actually happened to this girl. They say they do, but by golly, you're not going to say that because I'm going to say this. I made a comment on one of these channels about Summer Wells, and I was asked, whose side are you on? I said Summers. I'm here for Summer. And they're like, you either believe Andy's story or you believe Fred's story. And I'm like, excuse me? Summer's the one that's lost. I don't give a damn about either one of those. I personally don't feel either one of them had anything to do with it, but hey, whatever. You go on with being you. And it was unthought of that I might be there and be 100% for Summer. Oh, TJ, I just got up this morning. My heading down to the Meet the Morrows event. My car broke down. I'm carless. My son-in-law can fix it. It's just, and I went to YouTube. Gonna look on YouTube just to get my mind occupied for a while and saw hate after hate after hate after hate. And it just about sent me over the edge. I got called out. What kind of person are you? Who are you? Are you who I thought you were? Kind of thing. And it's had me thinking, why so much drama attached to a missing child? They didn't ask for it. Why are we doing it to them? These kids didn't ask for their name to be attached to people who attack each other. They didn't ask for that. They didn't ask us to come over here and talk about their whole case. But yet have all the trolls in the chat trying to cause distractions, putting hate out there, digging into people's lives, calling out the worst times of a person's life ever, all because you have a channel and you feel you have the right. What kind of world are we living in? People pretending to be someone they're not. Give me a break. If you're going to come in here and pretend to be Christopher Proudfoot and you're not, come in here and be who you are. Quit being a wuss. Oh, no, 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 no. It was just, I was looking to see what was going on in the YouTube land. And the posts that were made were, I counted 11 posts in a row, and it was nothing but hate filled. Nothing but hate filled. I could not believe it. It had nothing to do with me. I just couldn't believe it because in all of these posts, they continued to mention a missing child's name. Why? Why would you do that to a child? Yeah, Cheryl, 100%. It's like a nightmare you can't wake up from. It's not going to change. And I just couldn't. It's all about the dollars. You're right. It is 100% all about the dollars. That's all it is. And guys, I've told y'all before, I'm here. I need to make money. I've been 100% honest. Everybody is going to do this and get monetized and be able to make some money. It's just the way it is. I mean, that idiot last night's going to call me out by my first name? Seriously, you think you were putting out some big national security secret? No, I've already said my name because I have nothing to hide. Dig me up. You're going to see I had 2 divorces. What about it? I have 3 children. There's nothing more to it. Never spent 1 minute inside a jail cell. I've had speeding tickets. All you're going to find. But yet they think there's got to be something bad in everybody's history. It's gross. People are gross. And it's just so sad. Anyways, today, guys, is not just about me rambling and saying all this. I did get asked if I could work with another creator that we mutually do not like each other. I had to really dig deep because my first reaction was, oh, hell no. But that wouldn't make me who I really am, who I really want to be. And I want to be a person that puts a missing child first because that's what my heart says. Oh, it was just a phone call I had. Just a phone call with a friend. And that got brought up, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. It's just easy to get lost in the drama and the hate. Um, 1 pack of sugar. You're not going to come on my channel and tell anybody they owe anybody an apology. If one of my mods blocked or timed someone out, there's a reason. That person that got blocked can email me, because I'm not putting up with this crap. This is not what we're here for. And today's not the day. Got it? Sorry. It's how I feel. I'm tired of the trolls. I'm tired of this and that and threats. No, no, we're not putting up with it. We're not doing it. You see, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers had to live that life. And look where he's at. We don't know. And it's their friends in here causing that kind of BS. And I'm done with it. There you go, Jen. We choose to be here. I trust every one of my mods 100% with my entire life. They're not going to block someone or time someone out for no reason whatsoever. And if it accidentally happens, they already have apologized before I ever knew it happened. We do, Lisa. We have a really good group of people. And when I get a message on my chat, like I got yesterday, anyone else want to go missing? Keep it up. Keep talking about me and things won't end well. That is an actual out and right threat. And I took it serious. And I took it as me and every one of you was threatened. And it was, along with that channel holder, sent to the FBI. And that channel has been removed before I could get off my live, and they know about it. I'm not going to sit here and play games with people. I'm not going to play games with your lives either. Not going to let it happen. So, just for a reminder that we are here from Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers today, we're going to watch something. I'm going to let it play pretty much all the way through because StreamYard seems to be kind of glitchy again today. And I don't want all the crackliness to happen with my mic. I'm going to let it play because it's probably one of the best put together stories about Sebastian that I've seen. And let me get our music playing down low. We're going to do this for copyright purposes. Hang tight. Let me get this. Make sure it's not too loud. All righty. And before anything, let's make sure we let everybody know that myself, along with moderators, subscribers, and anyone in chat express their opinions. On this channel, we present speculations, possibilities, and show things found for everyone to decide for themselves what opinion they have. We're here for helpful purposes only. We are not here for drama, for hate, or anything negative. Please respect all opinions. And as always, my content is not to be used in a negative way at any time. All right, guys. So with that being said, Derrick Levasseur, I love to listen to him. I love to hear what he has to say, his opinions and his thoughts on things. And we're going to play this and listen to him. We're going way back to the beginning. This was done over a year ago. So let me, if it'll let me. Here we go. I'm going to put on closed captioning. And here we go. Maybe. Hopefully.
Katie and Chris packed up and left that home. Are you in contact with them at all? I know originally they weren't talking to you at all. They weren't sharing information, which also seemed bizarre to me. Even if a split up is acrimonious, you still have this shared goal, right? To find your boy. Has it gotten any better between you and Katie in terms of sharing info?
It kind of feels like it doesn't feel like a share.
Hang on. Don't know what happened. That's not Derrick Levasseur. I apologize. Hold on. I hate when everything messes up. Here we go.
On the morning of February 26, 2024, Katie Proudfoot went to wake up her 15-year-old son, Sebastian Rogers, for school. But when she entered his room, his bed was empty. She searched the rest of the house for him, but he was nowhere to be found. Katie called the police, and a large-scale search began immediately. As hours turned into days, the search intensified, with hundreds of people combing the area near the family's home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Despite these efforts, no trace of Sebastian has ever been found. It's been 9 months since Sebastian vanished, and investigators are still searching for him. Hey everyone, welcome back to Detective Perspective. My name is Derrick Levasseur. I'm a licensed private investigator and former police detective. Each week I'll be covering an unsolved case in story format. I'll then give you my perspective on the investigation and provide contact information for the individuals or organizations connected to the case so that if you have any tips, you can contact them directly and maybe you can help solve a case. So if you're someone who's in
Okay, Derrick Levasseur. I want to make sure everybody understands who he is. Hello, Jacob Sawyer. Welcome. He is a retired detective. He has worked many cases in his life. He is young, but he has done a lot of things. He is so good. He was also one of the panel hosts on America's Most Wanted. If you haven't ever followed him, TJ dropped the link for us in our chat. Anyone else that's listening on the other side, the link to his, yes, he was Brown Eyed Girl. He was on Big Brother. Yes. But the link is in the description of this video for anyone that needs to get it because he is great. He's one of my favorites that I love to listen to. So here we go.
Interested in true crime, specifically unsolved cases, and you would like to hear my opinion on those investigations, please consider subscribing whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever platform you use. Okay, so Sebastian Rogers. Some of you may know this case. A few of you recommended that I cover it. So here I am. And I want to tell you right from the jump that Haley did the research on this. And when she gave me the script, I started researching it. And she told me right up front that there's been a lot of misreporting, a lot of drama, a lot of rumors surrounding this case. So I'm going to do my best just to focus on the facts and keep my number one priority for all these cases in mind, which is to cover the case, expose it to people who may not know about it yet, And if there's something that's said during my episode that triggers someone, or maybe they think of something that could be of value, they have the information to contact the right people, because we want to solve these cases. And if we're not talking about them, then the chances of that decrease. And as you will see with a lot of the cases that I cover, by the time I get to them, the media coverage on these particular investigations has subsided. And also, I try to incentivize people to come forward by letting them know when there's rewards. And I will tell you, in this case, there's a large reward, a lot of money. So if it's not enough to just do the right thing, maybe there's someone out there who's financially incentivized. And if that's the case, I don't really care what it takes. As long as we bring Sebastian home, that's all that counts. So like,
He's calling it like it is, guys, saying it 100% like it is. This is about Sebastian. The facts of the case, the facts of what happened to Sebastian leading up to him going missing is the very most important facts. And we have called it out using the words of his mother, who was last with him. You know, he's 100%. He's 100% with everything he says. Yes, Paige, 100% with that. America's Most Wanted was a quite a bit of a disappointment, but at the same time, we listened to Katie and her story and her talking. Then it goes to Seth, and they called it for what it was. Seth and the things Sebastian's father had to say about him, his son, was the most touching. Here we go.
like I said, I'm going to stick to the facts as I know them. Law enforcement has been very tight-lipped about this case, so we're going to go over everything we can. There's a really interesting video to break down. I'll give my final thoughts at the end, and we'll see if anybody comes forward. So with that all out of the way, let's dive into this week's case. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was born on December 7th, 2008 to parents Katie and Seth. Now, Katie and Seth didn't stay together, and Katie later married Chris Proudfoot. And for the most part, Sebastian lived with his mom and stepdad in the Stafford Court neighborhood in Hendersonville, Tennessee, a town just outside of Nashville. He also maintained a relationship with his father, who lived about an hour away in Clarksville. As a child, Sebastian was diagnosed with autism. A former teacher told News Channel 5, quote, "He is high functioning. He has a great sense of humor. He loves to laugh. He's a jokester. He's super smart." His dad further described him as loving and inquisitive with a big heart. Sebastian had many interests. He loved animals, fishing, dancing, and swimming. He enjoys spending time outdoors, especially on playgrounds. He is also a big fan of Minecraft and is obsessed with the color green. In December of 2023, Sebastian turned 15 years old and spent Christmas break with his father in Clarksville. And by the end of 2024, he was back at his mom's and ready to return to Beach High School, where he was a student. At around 6 a.m. on February 26th, Katie went to wake up Sebastian for school and realized he wasn't in his bed. She searched the house but found no signs of him. And it's important to note that the doors were locked and his phone, medication, Nintendo, and all of his shoes were still there. The only thing that seemed to be missing was a flashlight Sebastian, quote, often played with. Katie checked outside but didn't see him, so she called her husband Chris, who was over 3 hours away working in Memphis. Together, they decided to contact the police. According to News Nation, Katie told officers she had last seen Sebastian the night before when he went to bed at 9 p.m. Around an hour later, she heard a thud come from his room, so she called out to him, telling him to keep it down, and he responded. And after he responded, she told him to go to sleep. That was the last time she ever talked to her son. Katie explained that she went to bed at midnight and woke up 6 hours later to find him gone. She told police that Sebastian has high-functioning autism and has no history of running away. She described him as a, quote, very smart gamer who is not mischievous by any means. After hearing from Katie, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, also known as the TBI, was contacted and an endangered child alert was issued at 11:17 a.m. The alert stated that Sebastian was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. News Nation reported that more than 200 searchers were deployed to look for Sebastian. The search included canine units, mounted officers, drones, and helicopters. Chris later told Nancy Grace about these searches, stating, quote, "There were 5 dogs that started the scent search, and then after that, there have been dogs from all over the country that have come in and done searches and had scent hits in various locations. A certain percentage of them tend to go to the same spot, which would have been a nearby retention pond." Now, the retention pond was only knee-deep, but it was drained during the search with no evidence of Sebastian being found, which I would say is a good thing. Chris went on to say that tracking dogs also picked up Sebastian's scent around the house, but no cadaver dogs indicated any findings. I do think it's worth noting that most media outlets reported no scent trails for Sebastian were ever discovered, so it's unclear what the truth is here. I'm only reporting what we were able to find, but just to put it out there and be transparent, there are reports out there that say no scents were ever found relating to Sebastian and that it was just dead ends everywhere. Now, Chris obviously has a different opinion, and that's why I wanted to include it, because he was boots on the ground and I would think that he would know. At 4:35 p.m. on the day Sebastian was reported missing, the TBI sent out a tweet asking residents near Beach High School and along Long Hollow Pike to check their outbuildings, garages, and cars. They feared Sebastian might be using one of these locations as a hiding place. News Nation reported that the urgency of the search was increasing due to colder temperatures expected to move into the area. Authorities were unsure if Sebastian was properly dressed for the weather, which obviously heightened their concerns. The following afternoon at 3:25 p.m., authorities issued an Amber Alert for Sebastian, and officials said that the decision to upgrade the alert was, quote, based on additional investigative information developed during the search. Now, I know some of you are going to be questioning why they didn't just issue an Amber Alert right from the start. Well, as I mentioned, they did issue the Endangered Child Alert, which is appropriate, because at that point, they don't know if he's just hiding under a car or at a friend's house or behind a shed. But once they start doing that initial search and they realize he's not in the immediate area and nobody has seen him, although they have never come out publicly and said foul play is involved, it now becomes more likely. And those parameters are now met where you feel that this person could have been abducted, and that's why the Amber Alert was issued. And I think it was done relatively fast. So I do get on some agencies for their lack of enthusiasm with getting these alerts out there. But I think here, the way they progressed through the alerts, it's the right call. It's fine with me. I don't have an issue with it. After the Amber Alert was issued, search efforts continued, and the police tried everything they could think of to find Sebastian, even playing his favorite song, Eye of a Tiger, hoping it might draw him out. Investigators also urged residents to check their security and doorbell cameras for any footage of Sebastian, and obviously many people did, but as far as we can tell, there were no confirmed sightings ever reported. By the end of the day, on February 27th, searchers had covered more than 2,000 miles on foot, but there was still no sign of Sebastian anywhere.
Here it is. He's telling the facts as he knew it at the time. No trace of Sebastian anywhere. Saddest of all, he's not worried about the parents, the step parents, any other family members. He's concentrating on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Exactly what it should always be about. Unfortunately, it seems we have to play with the fact that his mother and his stepfather love to go to the other side and wreak havoc with everybody trying to help keep Sebastian's name out there. Let's keep listening.
At this point, Sebastian's family had not spoken to the media, leading to many questions from the public. On February 28th, the TBI issued a statement explaining the family's decision to remain private. The statement read in part, quote, "We have been requested by the family to let local media know that they are not in a position to speak or be available to the media at this time. We, the TBI, have told them that while we would relay their message, it would be the decision of the individual media outlets and reporters to proceed as they see fit.
Doesn't sound to me like any TBI law enforcement is telling them don't speak to the public, right? But that's what they say.
I found this statement very interesting, and I'm interested to hear what you guys. We've had statements from law enforcement before on behalf of the family, and usually they ask straight up, "We'd like you to respect the privacy of the family during this difficult time." Didn't seem like they were doing that. It seemed more like they were saying, "Hey, listen, we're coming out here. We're just the messenger. We may not necessarily agree with this decision, and ultimately, although we're relaying this message, reporters, journalists, if you want to go after them and you want to pressure them, we can't stop you." Maybe I'm looking too deep into it. Maybe I'm reading too much in between the lines, but I think they could have been a lot more aggressive and to the point with their statement by saying, "Hey, we want you to leave them alone." And although there's nothing legally they can do if journalists decide not to, they can still show a position of authority and highly recommend, highly suggest that the family be left alone, at least for the immediate future. And that's not what I got from this statement. Now, as far as Katie, Chris, and Seth's decision not to speak to the media, I don't really have a problem with it. What are they really supposed to say? They know, if they have half a brain, that the media and people in the community are at least going to entertain the question, could they be responsible for whatever happened to Sebastian? Katie was the last person with him, and we have to remember that the account of her last interaction with Sebastian is from her and can't really be corroborated or confirmed. So we're just going.
Wait, what? The last interaction Katie had with Sebastian cannot be corroborated, nor can it be confirmed.
Going off her word, and you would love to believe the mother of the victim, but we know historically that's not always the case. Sometimes the person telling you the narrative is actually the person responsible. So it's an organic and natural question for everyone to have, including investigators. So the only thing that Katie, Chris, and Seth are going to do at this point is say something that can be picked apart or misspeak and say something that is interpreted incorrectly and makes them look more guilty. So I think the best decision at this point is to stay quiet. But I will tell you, they didn't stay quiet for long, and we're going to talk about it right after this break. That means you don't have a lot of time for the other stuff, from breakfast and feeling your best, whether you like routine.
Hang on, we're going to skip over the
juices
commercial.
And
y'all go to Factor.
is number
if you're
one,
hungry.
ready to help you manage calories, sacrificing quality for convenience with Factor. Weekly menu. All right, we're back. And before break, I mentioned that initially the family decided not to speak to the media, but that didn't last long because on March 3rd, Katie and Chris spoke to the podcast Duchess about Sebastian's disappearance. And this was their first interview with the media. And in that interview, they explained that Sebastian was, quote, 15 in age and body, but his mind has not caught up with his body. They also shared that Sebastian had no access to social media and that his school friends had already been interviewed by authorities. Katie and Chris added that Sebastian didn't have a sense of money, had never ridden the bus, and didn't like getting dirty. So these are all things you have to think about when you discuss the potential of him running away on his own, right? He wouldn't understand the value of money. He had never taken public transportation on his own. And as I said at the top of the episode, all his shoes were accounted for. So for him to leave the house, he would have had to have left barefoot or in socks. So based on what they know of him, that's not something he would do. When they were asked what they thought happened, Katie and Chris said they believed that Sebastian must have walked away from the house sometime during the night. On March 4th, 1 week after Sebastian disappeared, the police held a press conference to provide an update. They said there were, quote, no leads and no details to indicate that Sebastian is not alive. Obviously, that's a good thing. Police also announced that the ground search would be scaled back while the investigation continued. They stated, quote, this does not diminish our commitment to finding Sebastian. This is simply us transitioning from a ground search to an investigative side. And this is just a reality of what happens in these types of cases. Now, I know some of you won't like what I'm about to say, but the reality is police departments aren't any different than any other organization that has to think about staffing and resources. So once leadership feels like every area where Sebastian could have been has been searched, and there's not even evidence that he could have been there, then at some point you have to reallocate staffing and resources to not only other cases, because think about it, there's also other crime going on concurrently at the same time, but also put those people that you do have, whatever officers you do have, in positions where they can make a difference. You don't want them searching areas just for the optics of it. You want them contributing in a productive way. So that may be taking an officer off the search and putting him on search warrants of particular houses. That may be taking an officer off the search and putting them on getting affidavits for any cell phone data that you want. That may be bringing multiple detectives in to start conducting interviews. These are all things that it's tough to do at the same time. So this, as they mentioned, is transitioning from that search capacity to the investigative capacity, where now they're trying to explore other alternatives that may lead to some new evidence that may help find Sebastian. So
that was a hard thing to hear over a year ago now, coming up close to 2 years, that they scaled back the search and started investigating. Sebastian is a teenage boy and supposedly left home with no shoes on. And yet, after all of the searching that was done, the 5-mile radius, the creek beds, the rivers, and absolutely nothing. With as many people that was out looking for that young man, there was nothing. 18 dogs, no scent of him anywhere out there. Nothing. It's absolutely crazy to think about it.
I don't have a problem with it. This needs to happen. It's never an easy thing to come out and say that the search is being pulled back. Everyone looks at that in a negative light. And I see where you're coming from, because you're hoping that one day they just make an announcement and they find Sebastian hiding somewhere. So when that doesn't happen, it's a punch to the gut. And I get it. But the ultimate goal is still the same. They got to find Sebastian. They got to reallocate the staffing and resources to areas where that is going to be the most advantageous to the overall investigation. And that's what they're doing here. So I'm on board with it. Now, that same day that law enforcement announced they were pulling back on the ground search, Sebastian's father, Seth, sat down with Fox 17 for an exclusive interview. And he said Sebastian was his whole life and he'd do anything to bring him home. He shared that if he could say one thing to Sebastian, it would be, quote, "I miss you, bud. I'm waiting. I want to hear from you." Katie and Chris also spoke to the media about Sebastian's disappearance, and during their interview, Katie shared this message for her son. "We love you so much, and we want you to come home, and you're not in trouble. I just want my baby to be okay." A few days later, on March 7th, the police searched a landfill in White Plains, Kentucky, which is where the trash from Sebastian's neighborhood was taken. Now, the police did come out and say that the search was just a precaution. No specific evidence had led them to the site. And after hours of searching, as far as we can tell, there was nothing of value located, so the investigation continued on. So up to this point, as you can see, law enforcement is just kind of going through the leads, just checking them off one by one. And by them going to this trash site, if they're telling the truth, it's just another thing that they're checking off the list to make sure that they're dotting their I's and crossing their T's. And they haven't really said much publicly about the case or what direction they're going in. And that's because it's new and they don't want to give anybody a heads up on what direction they're going in or who they could be looking at. But on March 14th, that all changed, because A news outlet, WTVF, obtained surveillance footage showing activity in the backyard common area of Sebastian's home at around 3 a.m. on the night he disappeared. The area had no streetlights and was pitch black, but the video captured two specks of light moving around. WTVF speculated that the lights could have been from two people walking around with flashlights. So the footage I'm about to play is from News Channel 5, and I'm going to describe the footage for anyone who's listening on audio, but if you're up on YouTube, you're going to see it yourself right now and come to your own conclusions. If it's something different than what I'm saying, please let me know down in the comments. Okay, so you see the one subject on the right here. You got something up in the left. I don't know what that is, but then subject 2 is going to pop up for a second. There it is, and then it goes away. And now you have this overview shot of Sebastian's home. This kind of gives you an idea of what it looked like when it was, during the day. So now back to this, you see subject 1. Again, I don't know what the top left is, that light there. There's subject 2. You see it come into the photo, goes away. But then what you're going to see, it kind of gets lost in maybe some bushes or something like that. There's a close-up of subject 1. And then you have subject 2 walking towards subject 1. They both go off frame. However, then you just see one subject coming back, running through the brushes again, but at a faster rate, a much faster rate. So there's the video, and I don't want to look too deep into it, but it's really hard not to, especially when you think about some of the factors that we do know. We're talking about a window of 6 hours. 3 o'clock in the morning would be right in that window of opportunity. How many people are walking around at 3 a.m. and happen to be in the backyard of the person who's currently missing? And if that's not enough, you also have the fact that the parents have said he liked playing with this certain flashlight that was missing. That's a lot of coincidences. So if you take this video and you think that it is Sebastian, what it looks like is you have one person who's potentially Sebastian or maybe the other, and the two subjects come together with their flashlights. They go out of frame, and they're moving slow that entire time. But when they go out of frame, they're gone for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, one of the flashlights is seen moving at a rapid rate across the screen, almost as if they're fleeing the area. That's not good. Again, I don't want to go too deep into it. It's not good that you see two people going one way and only one person coming back. However, I don't want to speculate too much. There's a lot that you could extrapolate from this video, but it would be building a house on a shitty foundation, because the reality is we don't know what we're looking at. Now, if you ask me, I think we're looking at two people holding a lantern or a flashlight. That's my opinion. However, the TBI did not care to share their opinions, and they released a statement. And I can tell you they were not happy with WTVF, not only for sharing the footage, but also speculating on what it could be. So in this statement, they warned against sharing surveillance videos online, explaining that the footage could be misinterpreted. They also added that nothing gathered from home or business surveillance systems had been, quote, determined to be significant, and emphasized that there was no evidence of criminal activity in Sebastian's disappearance. They ended their statement by saying the family was cooperating fully with the investigation. And after I read that, my mind was in a pretzel, because now maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but I'm asking myself, do they know what this video footage is? And is it not what I think? But then I go back and I kind of debate myself, and I'm like, well, if it wasn't of value, why wouldn't they just come out and say what it was so we would stop talking about it? If I had to guess, just based on my background, I think it is of value. And I think they were just pissed off that it got out there, because now one of their cards have been shown. That's one less tool.
Bingo. I think he said it perfectly. It is of value. And they're just pissed off because one of their cards was shown. I believe that 100%. There's activity. 3 hours later, he's reported missing, and that activity was happening around his backyard. Yes, it's a value. You cannot ever discredit that.
They have in the toolbox to use later, and that was information they wanted to keep in-house. And it's very possible that they're putting out this statement just to potentially throw people off, which is not a bad tactic. I might do a similar thing, maybe try to downplay it in a vague statement without completely discrediting it, because maybe later it'll become a critical piece of evidence. But yeah, where I sit right now, the video to me is exactly what it looks like. Two people holding flashlights. They come together, they go out of frame, only one comes back. What we can make of that, your guess is as good as mine. Now, around a week after that footage was released, Seth organized a search of the Natchez Trace State Park, which is approximately 100 miles from Hendersonville, and this was after receiving a tip suggesting the family should check the area, but unfortunately, nothing of value was found. However, that didn't discourage Seth because he continued hosting searches and passing out flyers. He told News 2, quote, "I just want to find my son. I'm not going to give up hope." At the end of March, Katie and Chris spoke with Nancy Grace about the status of the case, and during the interview, they revealed that they were no longer staying in Hendersonville and had relocated to an RV out of town. Chris explained that this move was due to him going back to work. Nancy asked Katie if she was concerned about being away while the search for Sebastian continued. Katie responded, quote, "Absolutely, my son could be anywhere, and we're looking everywhere and anywhere." When asked what she thought had happened to Sebastian, Katie said, quote, "I think it's possible someone has my son. I feel like if he had been close to the house or walked off, we would have found him by now with as many people as we had searching." Katie told Nancy that she was asked to take a polygraph, so she did, and she passed. And Chris said that since he was out of town when Sebastian disappeared, he wasn't asked to take a polygraph, but he said he'd be more than willing to do so if they wanted him to. Katie then claimed that both she and Chris had both been cleared by law enforcement. However, as far as I can tell, the police have never publicly cleared anyone. In fact, just days after this interview took place, police told WTVF that no one has been cleared. They also expressed frustration with online rumors and speculation, saying it did nothing to help the case. And I can see where the frustration is coming from. Just from our research on this case, you can find rumors and speculation on Facebook and Reddit, and people are presenting their theories as fact. And this type of behavior can severely hinder a case, especially a newer one like this, where law enforcement is keeping everything close to the chest and they're being very careful about what is released and when it's released. There may be some strategy behind that. So if you have people putting misinformation out there and presenting it as fact, and for some unfortunate reason it gains traction, it can cause the community to go in a specific direction that has nothing to do with what needs to be investigated. It can also...
Did y'all hear that? Guys, at no time ever do we put a theory or speculation or possibility that we have found out there as truth. People twist it and turn it and saying that's what we're doing, but that's not what we're doing. We can't do that because it's not truth. The only truth we have are the words that Katie and Chris, Seth has said. That's all. That's the only facts we have, are what they're telling us. I mean, wow, it's crazy. But unfortunately, there are those people who put things out there as if it's facts, and it's nothing but drama.
Create a public outcry that's unsubstantiated. For example, based on what's being put out online on Reddit or Facebook, you could have a group of people going after someone who has nothing to do with the crime. And we know that was going on here in this case, because even though they didn't say it, I believe personally that Katie and Chris moved partially because of the backlash they were getting. And that's not just me pulling it out of thin air. She later told Fox News, quote, "We are posting flyers every direction we can." But at the same time, there were quite a bit of people that were sending some very threatening and hateful messages to us. They're following us. They're driving past our house at all hours of the day or night, disturbing the neighborhood. And even the neighborhood is very upset and concerned. They're worried about their safety at this point. She finished off by saying that she felt leaving the neighborhood would help calm things down. And that's unfortunate, because there's a real possibility she had nothing to do with Sebastian's disappearance. I'm not clearing her completely. I'm in no position to do so. But based on the little bit of video we do have, is it possible that Sebastian met someone outside that wasn't Katie? Of course it is. So to have these people so convinced that she's responsible for for Sebastian's disappearance. It's unfair. And she may very well be a victim at this point as well. Now, if information comes out that suggests otherwise, I'll be the first to hop on it. But we're not there yet. And we have to treat everyone innocent until proven guilty. And as of right now, there has been nothing incriminating about Katie. We're going to take our last break. We'll be right back. Your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. If you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you
Here we go.
infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature.
Y'all go to Miracle Made.
All right, we're back and we're going to continue with the next significant update, which came on April 2nd when the police held a press conference. They shared that during the first week of the investigation, they obtained multiple search warrants, including one for Sebastian's home. According to WKRN, cell phone data was also analyzed, and all available digital evidence, including data from Sebastian's Nintendo, was searched and documented. Additionally, with the help of the FBI, all vehicles that were in the area at or around the time of Sebastian's disappearance had been identified and accounted for. And that's all you're going to hear about that, because more than likely a call was made and the FBI deployed some science and technology that might be used for other things like counterterrorism, things of that nature, where they were able to deploy, I would assume, some type of satellite imagery, plate readers, things of that nature. And they feel confident with the information that was gathered. Now, will we know those details? Probably not unless it goes to an affidavit and then an arrest. And the reason being is we don't want to disclose all the tools we have at our disposal. That would just give the advantage to the bad guy where they can try and circumvent it. So the technology was used, it was successful in what it was supposed to do, and that's all you're going to hear about it. Now, the police emphasized that they were continuing to work tirelessly, focusing on, quote, good old-fashioned police work. They were interviewing and re-interviewing individuals, checking leads, and then rechecking them again. And that's what I like to hear. It's easy to get caught up and think you are the best at what you do. You got to put your egos aside. Even though you think you checked every area, even though you think you asked all the important questions, let someone else look at it. Let them analyze your work. Let them critique your work and see if they come up with something different. There's nothing wrong with that. In many cases, they will find something that you missed, not because you're bad at what you do, but you're juggling a lot of balls there, and you have to make sure that you have someone backing you up, double checking your work to make sure that as you move forward, nothing's been missed. This is the way to do it. I know they're saying it. I hope they're following through with it. So even though law enforcement said they were doing their job, Seth wanted to make sure that all angles were being covered. So in mid-April, he hired private investigator Heather Cohen to assist in the search for Sebastian. And together they spoke to News Nation, and Heather stated that she believes Sebastian's disappearance is the result of a, quote, domino effect of events. She pointed to what she described as, quote, a lot of turmoil surrounding Sebastian, and highlighted December 2023 and January 2024 as key months investigators should examine. She also mentioned that the Tennessee Department of Children's Services had previously been referred to the Proudfoot home. However, she noted that the case has been closed and the file was restricted, leaving details unclear. She also referenced, quote, some talk about Chris leaving Katie, calling it, quote, trouble in paradise. Seth told News Nation that he has, quote, mixed feelings about whether Sebastian was safe at his mother's house. He said, quote, I've heard some things. He also revealed that Katie and Chris hadn't spoken to him for 2 weeks, which he felt meant they didn't share the same goal of finding Sebastian. Seth expressed confusion over the circumstances of Sebastian's disappearance, saying, quote, it doesn't make a lot of sense. He explained that Sebastian didn't like going barefoot after a childhood incident, so leaving the house without shoes didn't seem likely, not to mention the fact that he left behind his phone and his Nintendo. The police also spoke to News Nation and reiterated that while there was no evidence of foul play, they were not ruling anything out, and they made it abundantly clear again that Katie and Chris had been cooperative throughout the entire investigation. After all these interviews, the search for Sebastian continued, but the media coverage, as it usually does, began to slow down. In mid-May, Seth publicly called for the FBI to take over the investigation into Sebastian's disappearance. He told News Nation, quote, I don't want my son to become a cold case. The way I'm seeing things now, it'll be a cold case. By late August, more than 6 months had passed since Sebastian went missing. At that time, the FBI announced a $50,000 reward for information leading to Sebastian's safe return or the arrest and conviction of those responsible for his disappearance. In September, Dwayne Chapman, also known as Dog the Bounty Hunter, joined Seth in the search for Sebastian. Chapman followed leads and doubled the FBI's reward, raising it up to $100,000. He told the media that he believed increasing the reward would bring them closer to finding the answers they were looking for. Over the following months, the investigation continued. His parents remained vocal in the media, but the police were tight-lipped, revealing little to no information. As of this recording, the investigation into Sebastian's case is still very active. The most recent update was released on November 22nd, when the reward for information increased to $200,000. Seth spoke to News 2 at that time, expressing hope that Sebastian would soon be found. He noted that on December 7th, 2024, Sebastian will turn 16 years old. Seth said he hopes Sebastian will be home before then because he doesn't want to miss any more moments without his son. All right, let's get into the perspective, and I want to elaborate on some of.
I wanted to answer this question real quick. I don't remember where somebody asked in chat. I saw what happened on December 23rd of 2023. There was a CPS case, and things didn't stop. There was another one in January. Sadly. And we talk about it because it's part of Sebastian, the leading up part of his life prior to him going missing. Let's finish this out.
Things I said, dive into the video a little bit more. What does it mean? But this isn't going to be that long because this is a new case and this is more a call to action. I want to get through this, get you the information you need, and hopefully someone listening or watching this episode comes forward. So the first thing I want to address is the elephant in the room. Could Katie be responsible? Yeah, she could be. I think even she would acknowledge that that's a possibility, especially when you think about the two lights, that if those two lights are two human beings, one light could be Sebastian, one light could be Katie. I do want to say that this isn't a case where it could be an infant that was unable to take care of themselves and needed constant parental supervision, and maybe the lack thereof resulted in a death. I don't think that's what we're looking at here. Sebastian was capable of taking care of himself. So unless she deliberately did something to him, I don't see that being the case. And I would then have to know what the motive was. Sebastian was living with her, but he also had the ability to live with his father. Doesn't appear that he was being a nuisance or was being combative. Everyone loved him. He was doing good. He was going to school. What could have happened that would have changed all that? I'm not seeing anything. That doesn't mean there's not something there. I don't have access to all the records, but on the surface, I don't think that Katie's the prime person of interest here. I think there's a lot of circumstances at play here that would suggest another theory, which is what I want to get into now. Yes, Sebastian was extremely intelligent, but as someone who has autism, even though they're high functioning, they are sometimes susceptible to not picking up on social cues. I know this. I have people who are autistic in my own family, and it's possible that someone who presented themselves as a friendly was actually a foe. And it could have been just through text or through just some quick interactions where Sebastian thought this person wanted one thing when in reality they wanted something else. So we could have a scenario where Sebastian waited for Katie to go to sleep with the intent on meeting up with this person. And I'll even go as far as saying this. I keep saying this person had, some type of malicious intention. It's also possible it was someone who was a friend or someone who was just hanging around and having fun with Sebastian. And maybe something happened while they were out playing around. Could have been an accident. And this person got spooked, felt responsible, took off, and has never come forward. That is one angle. The other angle is this person, like we were originally saying, did have some type of nefarious intention, was able to get Sebastian out of the house, brought him somewhere, and based on just the video, it seems like whatever happened to Sebastian happened relatively soon after they went out of frame. I say that because only one subject is seen running back across the camera. That's what happens when you start to analyze this video, right? Because you could push back on me and say, well, how do we know that the two people went off camera and the person we see running back this way isn't Sebastian? Maybe they're playing manhunt, hide and go seek, whatever you want to call it. Different generations call it different things, where they could have been out there playing around and maybe Sebastian runs off in the opposite direction, loses his sense of direction, loses his orientation, and keeps running and gets to a point where he falls, gets hurt, continues down into something where he can't be seen. Again, not likely. At this point, someone should have spotted him or done. That's not the case. So a lot of questions, a lot of variables here. If I'm looking at this, and I think investigators are probably looking at it this way as well, if that camera footage is what we think it is, and I know they downplayed it, but if it's what we think it is, you have Sebastian and you have the person responsible for his disappearance. And that could be a variety of people. I'll even throw out there, just for the sake of this conversation, without knowing the details, which this could be quickly ruled out, could Seth have been in the area? Was Seth down in that location based on his GPS data from his cell phone, his vehicle data? I don't have that information. That is something that as a detective, I would be going down the list and ruling them out one by one. We can also add Chris to that list. I know he was in Memphis, according to what I said tonight. That's probably the case. That would need to be verified as well. Once we've done all that, and we know the only person that was in that house and in that vicinity that's connected to Sebastian was Katie, then you start there. Now I would want to explore Sebastian's life. I know he didn't have social media, but they said he was a gamer. And I don't know what games he was playing. They mentioned Nintendo numerous times, although 2024, Nintendo doesn't seem like the optimal unit to be using, but I do wonder if any of the games he was playing, whether it was on Nintendo or on some other gaming system or on a computer, did any of those games have a community element to it where you could interact with other gamers who are currently playing the game? I know there's games as simple as Roblox on your phone where you're playing the game, but yet you're also interacting with other people. Could he have been interacting with someone who was local, who set up a meet time for them to go out and play manhunt or play with flashlights or go on a little adventure, a mission? What could have gotten him out of the house? Someone would have had to have access to him. And the only way I'm seeing right now would be by phone or through the gaming system. And if they contacted him through phone, we would have someone by now. They've gone through that phone with a fine-tooth comb. They can see all his data. They would know his search history, who he's communicating with, who his contacts are, and what different search history he had going on in there. So I don't see that as an angle. The gaming system is something I'd want to explore. But I do think that there's someone in this community, probably multiple people, who know something and maybe haven't come forward yet. I am a little concerned that at this point, there has been no sightings of him on camera. You've seen the overhead view of that area. It's a nice community. And you would think that most of them have some type of surveillance system, some type of doorbell camera, and no one picked him up. Not one camera. As far as we know, nothing. It doesn't leave a lot of options. It means he went towards the woods, and you have to ask the question, who'd he go with and where are they now? As far as where I sit, there is a silver lining here, and it's a morbid way of looking at things, but the fact that we don't have evidence that Sebastian has been hurt or killed is a win. As long as there's no evidence of him being injured out in the woods, there's a potential that he's not there and he's currently residing with someone. Obviously, it's not under the right circumstances, but the best case scenario is that he's still alive and he's okay. He may be being held against his will, or he may believe that he has the freedom to leave when he really doesn't. Either way, someone needs to come forward. Something happened in that immediate area someone who had seen him in the past, who had known who he was, who had known the time that they could get access to him or what to say to get him to come out of the house, possibly barefoot. This is someone who had some type of interaction with him before. And that's going off the assumption that this doesn't involve a family member or friend, because in that case, they would have immediate access to him and they would also know what to say to incentivize him to go outside. And the final scenario, which I don't personally put a lot of stock in, is that he ran off on his own and maybe he planned on coming back, but he got hurt or injured and wasn't able to do so. But that doesn't make a lot of sense to me for a variety of reasons, which we talked about in the episode. No shoes, no phone, and most importantly, that video in his backyard, it clearly looks like two people. So unless there's UFOs in his backyard, or unless there's some type of anomaly with that camera that created this illusion, almost like you'd see orbs in a photo, then those are two people. And I think the movements of those little white dots are highly suggestive that they're human beings holding some type of illuminated device, i.e. a flashlight or a lantern. So where does that leave us? We need someone to come forward. There's a $200,000 reward. If you have information that can help solve this case, now is the time to do something about it. I'm sure if you come forward and you're not directly involved, you can remain anonymous. And if this turns out that you're right and it leads to the location of Sebastian, or it results in the arrest of the person responsible for Sebastian's disappearance, at minimum, if doing the right thing isn't enough for you, you can make a lot of money. So just to recap, 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was last seen on February 26, 2024 in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and black square-framed glasses. At the time of his disappearance, Sebastian, who was a white male, was approximately 5 foot 5 inches tall, 120 pounds, with sandy hair and brown eyes. If you have information concerning the whereabouts of Sebastian, please contact the Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838, or you can contact the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800-TBI-FIND. And as I mentioned, there is a reward available. 200 grand could be yours if you help solve this case. And as always, my final words go out to Seth and Katie, and also Chris. I know you're hurting right now. I know you're doing everything you can to help find your son. And I'm hoping that this little show here does something to contribute to that, to keep sharing Sebastian's story, to make sure that the exposure and the light stays on his case. I know with all these tragedies that happen every single day, that's getting harder and harder to do, but we're here. We're going to do our part now. We're rooting for you guys, and I hope there's an update in this case soon. And as it was mentioned, December 7th, it's coming up fast. Sebastian's going to be 16 years old. Let's bring him home. I hope we do that. That's going to do it for me, guys. Everyone stay safe out there. I'll see you soon.
So guys, keep in mind that was early on. That was just months after Sebastian went missing. Gives you a perspective on how someone else outside of this. Thank you. How someone else actually, looks at a case. And okay, hold on. Let me get all this music turned off, all the things, because I need to talk for just a second here. I'm going to change this banner around. Let's put this one up here for a minute. There we go. All right. I hope you enjoyed Derrick Levasseur, because he is seriously a really great person. He speaks out and says exactly what he feels from his training and his thought. Now, like I said, don't forget that was early on. We knew very little at that point. There was lots of speculation going around and all the things. We're going to continue to listen to him because he has done some more with Sebastian's case later on. So I think it was Jacqueline saying she would be interested in hearing what he has to say now. I don't believe he's done anything recent, but we're going to go tomorrow and we will watch the latest that he's put out. Now, me and you, we love you. We're all worried about you. If you need to go to the doctor, back to the hospital, please. You are so important. We need you to be okay. You do what you need to do to be healthy again. If something's not right, go get it checked out just so they can help you to feel better. And I know when you call, they don't give you much encouragement. They'll just basically say, hey, come on in, because we can't give you advice over the phone. Unfortunately, from them doing that, there are those people that are going to cause issues, just like here on the YouTube streets. So you go do and take care of you. And if you can't be in chat, it's okay. You just let me know you're all right. That's all we care about. We love you. You are such a huge part of our family. And we need to make sure you're okay. Another family member, Daniel, in chat, seems that he may be having surgery pretty soon. So please, friends, we have people in here, our family, that need our prayers. We need all of our people healthy to continue to take care of what we are trying to accomplish here, and that is to get Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and his story to stay out there. And of course, we have the same idiot come into our chat and make horrible comments. Folks, we're on to stuff. We're hitting on something. They wouldn't care about us. We're just a tiny channel. But we might be getting a little too close for comfort. And that, my friends, makes me happy. So me and you, send me a message tonight. Let me know you're okay. I will be praying for you. Daniel, keep in touch with me. Let me know you're okay. And anyone else in chat that needs it, I want y'all to know I pray every night. And I pray a hedge of protection around my whole entire YouTube family. I worry about each of y'all. I really do. As I came on this at the beginning of this live, I was so all up in my feelings and all the things because the drama and the hate overtake these kids' cases. We have to take care of ourselves individually and then work together as a family to continue to push through all of the hate, all of the anger, all of the disgust, all of the sabotage, all of the things. And it's just so sad that we even have to endure any of it. But when people are fighting for their very own lives to stay on the outside of out here in the world, not locked up, not having to wear an orange jumpsuit every day of their life for the rest of their lives, they're going to do whatever they got to do. And I say let them try, because we got all the URLs we need. We'll just continue to pass it on to the FBI. They are alerted to exactly what's happening. Guys, I'm going to get off of here in just a few minutes. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who have sent me monetary donation. I appreciate you more than you could ever know. It helps. It really does. The thought that somebody would care enough to help me is very humbling. And I hope you know how appreciative I am to each and every one of you. And I want to say thank you for letting me have my time of being sad and depressed and upset and all the things, because y'all are my people that I can turn to, and I know that y'all care. And so thank you. If y'all want to, we will still go live on What the Fuss tonight, if that's what y'all would like to do. It's going to be in about an hour. It'll be about 8 p.m. Central. So if one of the mods could drop the link so everybody has it, if y'all would like to come over and hang out, it's going to be anything and everything except true crime and hate. We'll probably go over there and have an open panel and just hang out and talk, catch up, that kind of thing. Can we play Uno? We can do whatever we want to do. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We'll go over there. Just give me some time to get me something in my belly. I'm getting kind of hungry. I know y'all heard my phone chirping and everything earlier. My granddaughter had a ball tournament today. She got a home run. I am so proud of her. Sent me a picture with her ball. Jen, strip poker. We could do that because ain't nobody gonna see us, right? Oh goodness. So yeah, I'm just super proud of her. And they got second in their championship. They got to the championship. So proud of her. Makes me happy to see when the babies are all doing good and doing what they love. Anyways, we'll figure out something to do. If y'all would like to join us, just come have a relaxing time, because sometimes we just need to get away from the true crime aspect and all this stuff. So we'll go over there tonight in about an hour. Hey Betty, how you doing? So good to have you. Thank you so much for all of y'all being here tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you for being who you are, because y'all all make a difference. Y'all matter. Wear lots of clothes. There you go, SI. Oh, goodness. I will let her know, Diana. I will. I will. She was so excited. She sent me a big old picture of that big old grin and her home run ball. And guys, we're talking over the fence home run. That is so big for this age group. So super proud of her. Super duper proud. She's been working hard to get it. She finally got it. The only one on her team that got it over the fence. Anyways, for all of y'all who are not feeling well, we got you covered in prayers. Me and you, Daniel, y'all take care of yourselves. And guys, I love y'all. And I appreciate y'all. And don't forget, like I always say, we're here for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He is the reason we do what we do. Love and hugs to each and all of y'all. Hope to see you later. Good night.